What's up, guys? MrNoobTubeGamer. Before I get into the video, I just need to give a quick shout out to my man, Bullet Barry. He actually did me a solid recently and actually featured the interview I did with him a few weeks ago on his channel. He actually uploaded that interview onto his channel, which got me a lot of new subscribers, which I'm very appreciative of. Thanks, Bullet Barry, for the shout out. Thank you for promoting me on your channel. You really had no reason to do such. You also had no reason really to be in the interview in the first place. But anyway, it's a very humbling experience. The past month of my YouTube career, getting all this positive feedback as of late, having all these YouTubers that are respected in the community giving me a chance and promoting my channel. It's just it's really good. It's really humbling, and I couldn't thank you guys enough. And to all you new subscribers, don't worry, that old content that you guys are familiar with me producing, that content is never coming back, so you don't have to worry about that. Well, speaking of interviews, my second interview guest will be Fratanga Plays, and that interview will take place this Saturday, so stay tuned for that. But Fratanga wasn't originally supposed to be my second interview guest. No. The person who was originally supposed to be my next interview guest was none other than Jtech TV. Now, I'm sure there are two questions running through your heads right now. I guess the first question would be, why the hell would you want to interview someone like Jtech? Jtech, out of all people? Really? He's such a horrible person. He's cancer to the community. Why would you ever want to have a conversation with him? Well, I don't know if I've said this before on video, but the purpose of this interview series is for the community as a whole to sort of have a better understanding of the people in the community. So my first interview guest was Bullet Barry. I thought it would be cool for the community to get to know him a bit better, especially since he's a pretty big channel with 100,000 subscribers. And my next guest will be Fratanga Plays, and I think it would also benefit the community to get to know him more. But that offer didn't just extend to YouTubers who get positive reception, like Fratanga, like Bullet Barry. I also wanted to extend that offer to YouTubers who don't necessarily receive such positive reception that these guys do. The reason why I decided to do this is because I think it would especially benefit YouTubers that don't necessarily get positive reception, because if you get to know them better, you might see them more than just in Jtech's case, a Sony fanboy, or someone who's just cancer to the community and someone who's just a terrible person. I think that Jtech being interviewed would kind of help him more than me. Because sure, I would have loved to have a conversation with Jtech, and it definitely would have benefited my channel in a way, because it would have created some intrigue, like, ooh, Jtech TV interview. Of course it would benefit my channel. But another part of the reason why I wanted to interview him was so that the community would kind of have a better understanding of this guy, because this guy gets a lot of flack. Outside of his little PlayStation Legion club, everybody pretty much universally hates this guy, right? Not just the type of content that he produces, but people judge Jtech as a human being, as a person. So I thought maybe that if he gets interviewed, that people would see him in a different light. And I think that would benefit him, because I think he needs that more than most other YouTubers here. So, actually, Jtech TV originally agreed to do the interview with me. So that leads to the second question people might be asking is, what happened? Because Jtech TV was supposed to be my second interview guest, and the interview was actually going to happen. But last minute, Jtech backed out. Here's the exact quote, actually. I asked him, if he'd be interested in answering a few questions, because I wanted to interview him, but he was kind of acting a little weird about it. At first he was like, yeah, sure, I'll interview you. This is on Twitter, by the way. He actually unblocked me on Twitter because someone who he didn't block asked him for me, because that's on my Twitter account. I asked if anybody who Jtech didn't block would be willing to ask him for me if he's down for an interview. And he originally said yes. He actually unblocked me for a while, and we were talking. We had a public exchange on Twitter for a little bit, and it didn't work out, sadly. Originally, he seemed like he was on board. You know, he said, sure, I'd like to do an interview. And then last minute, he was like, yeah, no, sorry, bro, I'm not here to make friends. Something along those lines. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, wow, I guess people were right about him. Because, I mean, if you don't want to be interviewed by me, that's fine. But to just be a dick about it, because he wasn't just insulting me. I mean, I don't care if anyone insults me, honestly. I've been insulted for the past 8 years of my time on YouTube. So I'm kind of used to it at this point. I don't care if I personally get insulted, but JTech sort of insulted the whole community, and because he was saying, I'm not here to make friends, which kind of tells you a lot about him. It just kind of shows that he doesn't really give a shit about the gaming community at all. He doesn't give a shit about any of you. And he pretty much proved that in his response to my interview request, which is kind of weird. I don't understand why he originally accepted my offer and agreed to go on an interview, and then later on he just decided, oh no, I'm not here to make friends, bro. It's just really weird. I don't understand why he did that. And as soon as he said that oh, I'm not here to make friends, bro, and pretty much turned down my interview request and backed out of my interview, he reblocked me on Twitter. So yeah, it just kind of shows you the kind of person that JTech is. But you know, I at first, I didn't really understand why people said that they hate JTech TV and that JTech's a horrible person or whatever. But then I did more research into this guy and realized that there might be some more substance to these claims that these people make, because people have always judged my character, right? People have always accused me of being a terrible person because of the things that I've said and done on the internet in the past. Although most of it was satire, but I do understand where these people are coming from. Maybe I did go a little too overboard throughout my YouTube career. I'm not going to try to make excuses anymore. It is what it is. I'm just trying to move forward. But here's the difference between me and JTech TV, okay? Never once in my entire career on YouTube have I ever gone after someone's YouTube channel. Okay, because JTech TV tried to take down Rags. He tried to take his channel down. He actually, I think, he filed 3 copyright claims against Rags and tried to take his channel down, and it almost happened. But thankfully, Rags fought back, and he's still on YouTube now. He has over almost 250,000 subscribers, and JTech lost that fight. But he was trying so hard to take down Rags' channel. He filed copyright claim after copyright claim against Rags for the videos he made on JTech. Now, you could say whatever the hell you want about me and how I used to act and whether or not it was right, you know, the whole console king thing or whatever, right? You know, if you don't like what I did, I can't blame you because most people didn't, right? But here's the difference between me and JTech. Again, I have never once gone after somebody's channel. Never. You can ask Rags, you can ask Bullet Barry, you can ask Top Hats and Champagne, you could ask anybody else who's made videos on me. I have never filed a single copyright claim against anybody. Not a single person has received a copyright claim from me. So you guys can say whatever the hell you want about me and how I used to act, and I'm sure some people are going to try to make a comparison between myself and JTech. But at least I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. JTech never does. JTech is never wrong, ever. The PlayStation is always the best. Sony can never do anything wrong. He's always damage controlling Sony. It's so weird. He has like a PlayStation nationalism thing going on. It's kind of strange, honestly. I don't know how you can have basically nationalism for a video game platform, but that's what people like JTech and other people on the internet have. It just makes no sense to me. Talking about how the PS4 Pro is the most powerful system of all time, and how it's so much better than the Xbox One X and all this other shit. I just think it's funny. He didn't give a shit about graphics when the PS4 came out, which is fine. But now all of a sudden that the PS4 Pro comes out, which can supposedly do 4K, oh, all of a sudden graphics are important. Give me a break. Give me a break. And I just love how, graphics were really important when it came to the PS4 and the Xbox One, because the PS4 typically outperformed the Xbox One with the multi-platform games. But now that the Xbox One X is more powerful than the PS4 Pro, oh, that doesn't matter anymore. No. It's just ridiculous. It's what he says is ridiculous, but I could look past that. I was trying to do an interview with him to get to know him better, so that everybody can get to know him better. But as disappointed as I was that the JTech interview couldn't happen, because a lot of people actually were looking forward to that interview, because I said on Twitter that the interview was happening because JTech said it was happening, but for some reason that I'll probably never find out, he decided to back out of the interview and then continue to block me. I was placed back into his block list. That's one thing I really wanted to know, too. That was actually a question I was going to ask him. What does it take to be blocked by JTech TV? Maybe one day we'll find that out. I'm probably going to do some investigative journalism here to see what somebody can do to get blocked by JTech, because I hear a lot of accusations saying, oh, anybody that follows Rags in particular automatically gets blocked by JTech. I actually followed Rags on an alternate account that I have on Twitter, and I am yet to be blocked by JTech, so I'm not sure if that holds substance, but who knows, honestly. Who knows what it takes to get blocked by JTech? That's a comment. That's a question that people wanted me to ask JTech during the interview. Sadly, that question will never be answered. All this PlayStation versus Xbox shit, or versus PC aside, JTech is just scummy. I don't mean to speak ill of another person on the internet, but based on his actions, I think it needs to be said. Because it's one thing if he has this whole PlayStation Legion bullshit and is dick riding Sony, and Sony can never do anything wrong, no matter what they do. Like, that's one thing. I mean, it's still a pretty shitty thing to do, because, you see, I had the whole thing. People are going to be like, you of all people are saying that about JTech. But hear me out. I was satire. I know a lot of people do not believe that I was being satirical with the whole Console King thing, but just take a listen to my old videos. Take a look at those old videos. I had a plastic toy microphone in my hand, and my video introduction was based off of the introduction that a professional wrestling team gives. And for reference sake, the name of that tag team is called the New Age Outlaws, just in case you guys don't believe me. Yeah, my video introduction was based off of professional wrestlers. So if you seriously think that I wasn't being satirical, I mean, I'm sorry. That either means that I was, A, doing a good job, or maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. I don't know. But I promise you guys I was being satirical with the shit I was saying. Granted, I'm not going to deny that I did have some negative feelings towards the whole PC Master Race thing. But you know what? It is what it is. Actions speak louder than words. PC Master Race on Reddit, they donate, raise money for cancer and all this shit. So, to me, they're fine. I don't care about the PC Master Race and the whole console peasant thing. It's okay. I don't really have a problem with that anymore. And I don't have a problem with Rags or anyone else on YouTube, because they're not like JTech. They don't actually go out and try to take people's channels down. They don't go out and censor people and remove people's comments, block them on Twitter, and do all this fucked up shit that JTech does. And the thing about Rags is that he actually seems like he actually cares about his fan base. JTech obviously does not. He only cares about you if you share his warped view of the gaming industry, that Sony is the only good thing to ever happen to the industry, and anyone who believes otherwise is going to get blocked, which I don't care what you believe, that's never okay. To censor people and to block people who don't agree with you. I always speak out against that on my political channel about how social justice warriors are always censoring people and trying to bully people into submission. That's exactly what JTech is doing with people who don't agree with the idea that Sony is somehow the greatest game company of all time, and that any other game system is terrible. The Xbox is horrible, and PC is terrible. and PlayStation has the best exclusives. And there's no other entity that offers better exclusive games than Sony. Ever. Yeah, okay. Look, I like Sony, and I actually love Sony exclusives. I love Uncharted. I love The Last of Us. I love Sony. So, you know, I'm sure JTech or anyone in that stupid fucking Legion is going to be like, you're obviously an Xbox fanboy. They're not going to call me a PC fanboy because they know my history with PC gaming and all those videos I made in the past. So I don't think they're going to try to call me a PC fanboy. They're probably going to be like, oh, you're an Xbox fanboy. I personally prefer PlayStation exclusives over Xbox exclusives. I don't really care much for Halo and Gears of War and all that other crap. I just don't care enough for it. But I do admit that Sony does have great exclusives, but to kind of like brag about having exclusive games like it's some sort of accomplishment is just fucking stupid. And again, I'd be willing to look past all that shit if he didn't show such disrespect for the gaming community, show disrespect towards anyone who criticizes him, to go as far as to try to take Rags off of YouTube and to remove his channel from existence. That's fucked up. And no matter what you believe, that's not acceptable behavior. So I just felt like it was worth addressing because a lot of people were looking forward to this interview that I was doing with Jtech TV, and I am disappointed that it didn't happen. But after I did more digging about Jtech, I kind of realized why it didn't happen, because it's impossible to have a conversation with this guy. It really is. And the fact that he declined my offer after accepting it, and as soon as he declined, he reblocked me on Twitter. That's just ridiculous, man. It'd be one thing if he was just like, you know, I just don't want to do this interview for whatever reason. If Bullet Barry didn't want to do the interview, I wouldn't hold a grudge against him. I wouldn't be making the video on him instead of Jtech. Don't think this is just because I didn't do an interview with him or because he didn't accept the interview. That's not what it's all about. It's just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back with this guy. And it's more so the way he responded. That he's not here to make friends. He's just here to spread his bullshit propaganda. That's pretty much what it seems like to me. So, I don't know what to say about this guy anymore. It pretty much speaks for itself. He's pathetic. He's honestly pathetic. And it's sad. It's sad that someone dedicates their life to a single company. To a single company. That's just insane. I know the Corporate Slave Awards aren't for another few months, but I really think that Jtech should take the nomination this year. I really do. I think he should be the 2017 Corporate Slave of the Year. For sure. I don't think there's anybody on here right now that's more of a corporate slave than Jtech is, because he goes as far as to block, censor, and try to take down people who don't agree with him. And what's even more ridiculous to me is that Jtech actually goes out and complains about being blocked by people when he's the one that does all the blocking. He blocks everybody who disagrees with him. Say what you want about Crap Gamer, but he's never blocked me on Twitter. I've never heard of Crap Gamer blocking people on Twitter. I've never heard of Crap Gamer trying to take down people's content. For my knowledge, at least. Maybe some people in the comment section can tell me otherwise. But it seems like Crap Gamer is a lot more reasonable than Jtech, although he might have his own problems. It's just sad. Jtech TV is a sad human being. He really is. And it's a shame. It honestly is a shame. It really is. I wish I would have been able to do the interview with him. I was trying to give him a chance for people to have a better understanding of him, to maybe, you know, give him some slack, because, my God, does he get so much negative attention on his channel. It's just, it's stupid. It really is, this whole situation. So, let me know what you guys think about the whole Jtech situation, and just leave your thoughts in the comment section. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later.